All right, folks, I hope you are enjoying this Friday. I'll tell you what isn't enjoying this Friday, and that would be these markets. I turned on the red backlight because we are bleeding today. Over $500 million wiped out in the cryptocurrency space just within the last 24 hours. So we're going to get an update on these markets. But then as you saw, as I titled this video, we have an interesting final pre-trial conference that's going to be taking place between Ripple and the SEC in front of the judge. And this is where settlement conversations do happen. So we're going to be talking about it all here in this video today. You guys know that all of my community resources can be found at zachrector.com. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of your most recent support. Really means the world to me, whether you just like the video, share it out far and wide, or if you've joined us in our private community using our community resources. It's all there for you guys, and our effort here is to bring the most amount of value to our community and make sure that you guys get on the right side of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Without further ado, let's take a look. This would be your Bitcoin back down to 66,000, and just earlier it actually dipped below 65,000 here briefly. The entire market is bleeding with, wow, XRP actually just did an even bigger wick. Wow. This happened within the last 5 minutes, guys, since I was getting this show ready to go and fired it up here. We just went down to 47 cents. Now, you guys let me know, was this just on Qcoin, or did you guys see this on your chart as well? This is the Qcoin daily chart for XRP. That thing just gave us a wick down to 47? Are you kidding me? Talk about an opportunity, folks, with the massive momentum building behind the XRP community, and I cannot overstate it. I really cannot. Folks, if you guys knew what I wish I could share with you guys, there is so much momentum behind our community. More on that later. Let's get into it, though. We see that the Uniswap lawsuit, is pending right now. They got served up with the Wells notice, and I wanted to share this tweet here and make a quick point. This is from Rachel Horowitz. Quote, Uniswap's corporate office sits smack in the middle of Soho in Manhattan, and its COO is a Harvard Law graduate who spent years working at BlackRock and Goldman Sachs. Its founder and CEO is a soft-spoken and widely respected computer scientist who developed the Uniswap protocol after getting laid off at Siemens. This is precisely the sort of cutting-edge startup that should be hailed as a U.S. success story. Where was these articles from Fortune magazine, right, when Ripple was getting sued? Because we know the list of big hitters and the all-star cast at Ripple, respectable people in the financial world, in technology. We know Brad Garlinghouse came from Yahoo, right? Where was the articles that came out in support of Ripple and XRP? See, I don't forget this, and they wanted to kick us and spit on us when we were getting sued by the SEC. But now that Uniswap's going to be coming into the crosshairs, right? Now that Ethereum's coming into the crosshairs, well, now we all need to band together, sing Kumbaya, link arms together, and we need to put up a fight. Where were you guys? Where was the rest of the space? You guys were rolling with the free pass and the Ethereum token factory, and everybody was cashing out and times were good. Now that it's finally come back full circle, and we're in the clear over here with the XRP Ledger AMM, being at the protocol level, right, with no smart contract at the protocol level versus a Uniswap, which did issue a smart contract. And I believe that's going to be the pinch point where the SEC is going to be able to say that smart contract is the investment contract between Uniswap and their users. And even though it's open source, decentralized, doesn't matter. It's an investment contract, and you guys are going to get in trouble for it. I don't support the SEC. You guys know my deal. This has gone way overboard, but I don't forget the fact that nobody wanted to come help us out when we were battling the SEC. Now we all need to get together, and it's an absolute joke. But I'll tell you what we are getting together for, and if this isn't worthy of a boom, I don't know what is, folks. Take a look at this one from Eleanor Terrett. We just got the update from the Federal Election Commission, and our good friend John Deaton has outraised Elizabeth I got a plan for that Warren in the first quarter, with Deaton raising total revenues of $1.36 million and Warren $1.1 million. This is why we continue to put up the fight. And as I said, the spotlight is about to shine down on the XRP community. Not only is this XRP Unleashed documentary going to go viral, share the whole story in that regard, now we have John Deaton, who came to prominence really by stepping up in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. And now he's stepping up even further, spearheading the battle, taking it to DC, straight to the swamp. And Elizabeth, you know, she better come up with a new plan for this one, because John Dean just outraised her. The bankster shill herself just got outraised by the people. And you know where her money comes from. It ain't coming from hardworking Americans like you and me. You know that that's not the case. John Deaton's money is straight from the grassroots, and that's why in the description of all my videos, I now have the John Deaton for Senate website, so we can all go support John Deaton. That's linked up in the description of all my videos right now. Elizabeth, I got a plan for that. Boy, she better reevaluate that plan. Oh boy. Let's make it happen, folks. God bless them. Now, let's talk about this. This is very interesting. So I'm going to show you guys here. This is actually from the New York Southern District, the court calendar, okay? And what we're looking at right here, Securities and Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs. You guys can see this one. And if we scroll on over here, right, this is a meeting with Judge Netburn, final pretrial conference, and it's set to take place on April 16th. This was not on the schedule that was given by Judge Torres, right? The next date that we were waiting for was actually April 22nd. March 22nd, last month, that's when the SEC filed the initial brief for remedies. Ripple gets to respond on April 22nd. And then the final reply from the SEC comes on May 6th, right? Well, this just got thrown in. This is a final pretrial conference, which is normal. Let's be very clear. And this is why you can't say I clickbaited you. I put the question mark in the title because we're asking the question. Once again, I know we've made a lot of videos. I know there's a lot of other YouTubers that make videos saying crazy stuff. Okay. I try to distinguish myself by putting that question mark and just bringing this to everyone's attention. And I wanted you guys to just know what happens at these pretrial conferences. This is where both parties come to the table and say, this is what it would take for us to come to a settlement. This is what needs to be hashed out before we go to trial. And if there is going to be a settlement, the party would actually admit, basically would have the plea, the guilty plea, and then, and that's in a criminal case. This is civil, but this is where they would basically come to an agreement and a settlement would be reached. So we've been throwing this out there that if we are going to see a settlement, it's going to be between now and basically May 6th or sometime in May, right? When the SEC is set to file their final brief before it gets sent off to Judge Torres. Okay. But if we do get that final briefing from the SEC on May 6th, and then it gets sent off to Judge Torres, I don't think that we get a settlement. But we are in settlement season here once again with a final pretrial conference set to take place next week. We're going to be watching that closely. Then we're going to be watching on April 22nd when Ripple gets to respond. And as I said in the video yesterday, which a lot of people are giving me a lot of good feedback about that video, we explained how the Second Circuit Court of Appeals just smacked down the SEC once again in reaffirming that basically no harm, no foul. If investors haven't been damaged monetarily, if they haven't been harmed, then there's no disgorgement to be had. And I believe that Ripple is going to be including that in their defense against the SEC, where they're going to be able to say, hey, look at all these investors. Look how much money they made. And yeah, it's just absolutely laughable and ridiculous that the SEC, what they're trying to say is, well, you gave a better deal to this institution than this other one. And that's where the harm is. Cry me a river, right? Who gives a rat's you know what about an institution not getting as good of a deal from Ripple as some other institution did? It's an absolute joke. And there's no harm because they still made money. They just didn't make as much money. So is that what the SEC is here to do? To make sure that every institution gets a fair deal and help the institutions make more money? It's an absolute joke, but we're going to be watching this one closely. We're in settlement season. Anytime between now and May 6th. And we're going to be watching closely because on April 16th, that's when they're going to have that pretrial conference, watching it very, very closely. Now, this was interesting, and this one had stirred up a lot of people earlier today as well. We had an escrow release of 500 million XRP from the escrow, from Ripple's escrow. And I don't know if this just came out late, because I was going back and I don't see any escrow release that took place on April 1st. I did see one, and you can go back and you can look at this wallet. This is on BitHump, and you can see, I guess we did get, we got this transaction. The last one from this wallet was on March 30th. But before that, you see basically they unlock these 500 million XRP and then they keep on putting them back, right? So this is one of many escrow wallets for Ripple. But today we get this transaction where 200 million gets released and then 300 million. We're going to be watching this one closely to see if they put it back into the escrow, and obviously with the pretrial conference news coming out today, it has even more speculation about a settlement coming in, and maybe the escrow, they needed to pay a fine or whatever. We'll see if there's any connection there or not, or whether they just return this back to the escrow. But very interesting to see this escrow release on a day that, usually they only take place on the 30th or the 1st of each month is when they're set to occur. So this was kind of out of the ordinary. Now, I wanted to highlight this too before we close out this session. Massive amount of utility coming to the XRP ledger. The AMM just went live. We're already back to building these deep, open public pools of liquidity. Gotta love it. But then Vet just shared this one earlier today. XRP Ledger Lending Protocol proposal is out. This proposal introduces a XRP Ledger native lending protocol. It is composed out of 3 new amendments: XLS 64D, which is pseudo accounts, XLS 65D, which is single asset tokenized pool, and 66D, which is XRP Ledger Lending Protocol. So altogether, these 3 amendments make up the lending protocol proposal that's being put forward now for open conversation, discussion, and for the developers to take a look at it. So we put all this together, folks. Do you see why I continue to say we have a massive amount of momentum behind the XRP community? We're about to take our story viral with the XRP Unleashed documentary. We're about to have a full victory in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. We're about to have XRP Las Vegas. We're about to have even more utilities coming our way. We have Uniswap AMM, which is getting taken down. That's unfortunate. But hey, over here where the sun is shining down on full clarity on the XRP ledger, you can come join the party now, right? And so we positioned ourselves perfectly for this bull run. People are already in my comments saying, XRP, great news, we're back down again today. They post that on every single one of my videos, and I just don't think that they understand that we are going to keep on sharing the truth about XRP, which is the fundamentals are fantastic, and that right now it's trading with the rest of the market. I don't believe that that's always going to be the case. And just take a look at gold and silver. They called us crazy for those ones as well. We just saw this morning that gold went to 2,400 and we had our silver up to about 29. I'll show you guys here real quick before we check out. Take a look at it, folks. Gold, 2,430. They called us crazy. They made fun of us. How are we doing now? Silver, up to $29, almost $30. Okay, we did correct back down here today. It's going to be an exciting weekend to watch. We got a lot of war drums getting beat down right now. And so we continue to pray. We continue to position. The sky is clear over here. The momentum's building. We're sleeping soundly at night knowing that we've checked off all the legal boxes. And we're just waiting to get that final conclusion to this case. And we're going to be well on our way. It's a beautiful thing watching this momentum build while also being on the right side of history. If you guys are with me, you know what to do. Really appreciate it when you like it, when you smack it, tap it, share it out far and wide for me. We got more content coming this weekend. Hope everybody stays blessed out there, and we'll see you in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.